Thank you everyone for coming. All right, so I'll just do a little recap. Okay, so those who might be joining new, we're making magnets, and this black disc that you see is the bottom of my cake pan. And we made these illustrations in the morning, and we started off this one, which I finished in the time that this part 2 was going to begin. So the recap is that we use regular sheets of paper, either cartridge paper or printer paper. If you've got an old box of cereal or eggs or something, you could use that. We just need it to be a slightly thick card paper because I don't want to presume everybody has a stack of magnets lying around in their house like I do. So we are going to substitute the magnet part with these cards, bits of card, and then based on that we are going to make the artwork. And you can make the card, you can cut the card to any size you want to. I have cut it to 5 centimeters by 6 centimeters because that's the size of my pre-cut magnet sheet. And I'm going to show you one more time how to paste your artwork on top of the card sheet, and at a later date when you will go and pick up a magnet sheet for yourself, you can then paste your artwork on top of your magnet sheet. All right. Okay, so we've done this artwork, and I have the previous artwork. Some of this was done in a class last week. I'm just cutting a suitable sized paper, which is about a centimeter from all sides. So I'm just going to cut this part to size. And I would also keep this sheet of paper to use elsewhere. So don't discard even this part because it's such a cute design. You could use it maybe in your diary page or something, or you can even fold this and put 2 pieces of magnets over here and then use this as a bookmark. This is how you'll end up hoarding so much stuff. So this session right now, I'm just going to show you how to paste your prepared artwork onto a card sheet and a magnet, a piece of magnet. You can, if you don't have ready artwork, you can just pull out any decorative paper from somewhere, or you could always decorate this after you have pasted on the card or on the magnet sheet. Alright, so one of the morning artwork I left because it was wet, so I'm going to paste this one. Excuse me. So our artwork has been cut to size so that it fits on the magnet. Before you paste the magnet, just check it out on a metal surface to see which side sticks, because magnet if you're using a magnet sheet, one side is magnetized, the other side is not. So if I keep it the non-magnetized size, it'll just slip off. And it'll often happen that you will do this beautiful pasting and you'll gift it to somebody, and then they will put it on and it's just going to slip off. Alright, so always check. And once you have checked, just keep it like that so you don't forget. So this obviously has been pasted before. Now, because I want to decide which part of the design I want, maybe I will center this fellow and start folding from one side all the way back, then the opposite side. I'm going to use a thinner magnet. This is pretty thick. The magnet sheets are also available in various sizes. You might find a 1 mm, 2 mm, 3 mm, and I have just moved from a 3 mm to a 2 mm sheet. That way there is enough space for me to paste it on both sides. Alright, never try not to do this. Don't do a 4-fold thing, because you don't get an accurate crease on the other side. You need to open out and fold again. The reason we do this is because we need this cross crease. We need this because we are going to now cut apart from here. Now I am leaving a gap between the edge of the magnet and the corner that I have cut. There is about a 2 mm gap there. Okay, that's because when we paste in the back, this is when you cut right at the corner, you don't get this overlap, so it looks rather shoddy. Whereas this one was cut with a gap, so it closes in a little better. Okay, so leave that gap on all sides, and don't cut through either. Don't cut straight across. Cut in such a way that there is it looks like a very wide V. Girls, can you check if the video is running? Okay. All right. Now, I try to avoid putting glue on this side. Okay, thank you. Because every paper warps a little bit, and since this is going to be the front, I don't want it warped, so I'm just going to put glue along the sides. Let me check my magnet again. Okay, make sure that all our folds are placed properly, and fold everything inward. Because I'm using a rather thick paper, my folds are going to be a little stubborn in the beginning. And overlap from all sides. And I'm going to use the power of the magnet itself to, instead of placing any weight on top, I'm just going to put the magnet on the metal sheet so that the attraction between the two itself will automatically hold it tight in place. Okay, so these are the magnets that we drew in the morning, placed on magnets, and this artwork is pasted on a sheet of paper, on a card sheet, so it's not gonna stick. And maybe I can show you how to make this circular magnet because we have this extra time. All right, one more time for people who are just joining in. Yeah, the video of the flower and the bird is up now, so you can watch it in the live videos. And I think my internet switched off sometime maybe 30 minutes into the video, so I finished painting much of this except making of the detail, which unfortunately we won't have right now. And of course, most importantly, pasting the magnets and the design that we've done. I'm going to use I'm going to show you how to paste this one more time, but on the card sheet now. The artwork is made slightly larger than the card or the magnet that we need, and we are going to fold it from all sides. It has to be about a centimeter or so overlapping on the top. So if you're using a really thick card sheet, then you need to have more paper around it. So if you're going to use a really thick, say if it's about this thick, then the sheet will not come on top as much, and this will not last. So you need to be careful how thick your card or your magnet is, and after the fold it needs to have a flap of 1 centimeter on top. So if you're using slightly thicker materials, then just get a larger artwork. Okay, now again with card sheets, the outside is usually laminated, so sometimes Fevicol will not stick on this. So I put this part on the inside, and the inside of the box is not laminated. I have to cut the edges first. Yeah, I usually hold the magnet or the card sheet before or when I'm cutting in position, because that way I can be sure. If I put it away, I might leave too much space or too little space. Remember to leave this space, and it's very possible that the first time you're making this you will forget exactly that, and then it might not turn out as you would have hoped, and then you will remember it for life, which is also fine. But if you are making multiple magnets like this, I would suggest make one magnet from start to finish first, because you will have gone through all the possible errors in one. Like for example, the size of paper you use. You might the first time round use too much or too little, but you get to play with all the parameters one time from start to finish. And after that, everything else you do after that will be much better. But if you start off, say, making 5 magnets and you've cut all of them to a particular size and you've done all the artwork, then all of them could be your first time bad experience. Cool? Am I still on? Can somebody please respond and tell me if I'm still on? Is the video on? There's a lag. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, good. All right, cool. I'm gonna go get a circular magnet to show you how to make this artwork while you finish pasting the others. Thank you. Okay, somebody asked to see the bird. I remember the first video stopped when I just made the wash, I think. So I had made the wash in scarlet, and I made the yellow, and I made the wash outside. I was just applying a little bit of cobalt blue on the sides, and that's when the video stopped. So I have put I made a deeper red and made this texture in the front, created a slightly deeper yellow and made a texture of wings in the back, and a little ring around the eye of the bird, and then used slightly deeper green. I added cobalt blue to sap green and made a slightly bluish green and gave a glaze on top. So that's about it. And then I went around with a dark pen, and because the beak is very tiny itself, I did not use the fat pen for the beak and the feet. I changed that to a thin pen. That's how the bird was finished. Okay. It is easy. Shreya. All right. Let's make that little rosette. So I have this paper from earlier which I had kept as a base when I was making those watermelon washes. um, I'm going to make uh, I need to paste my rose ideally only on the sides. I oh, sorry. So I need to just make it big enough to paste along the sides. This is not ideal. And with circles, it can be a bit of a problem because we don't want the top to crease. So we will have to paste the top. So I'm going to mark the circle. And at any one point, I'm also going to mark the side. So it gives me just a dot so I know how much the side is going to be. And I'm going to make a large circle around that whole area. Oh, can you see it? All right. And we're going to go ahead and paint with paints. Yeah. There. Okay, so going back to how the roses were made, and you know what, I'm just going to make a couple more. Not that I'll be able to use all of them because I just have one of these circle magnets. I'm going to make some more flowers because I'll have to make multiples since this will take some time to dry. What do we do in the meantime? Give myself the concentric circle on the outside, more or less. Right, so start off with, for the rose we need to make a wash, and while this is drying, I'll show you another very pretty flower. Let's see if it works out. We have let's make a peony. I think it's called a peony. It's got these 3 little petals in the bottom. I'm going to do a session in peonies, right? So just enjoy how it looks for the moment, because this is too tiny to give you any instructions on this. In a post lunch session, it's sometimes difficult to even take instructions. Okay, and a triangle this side. And then yeah, we need to wait till this dries, and we can also try a third one where Let's do another wash and we'll make another kind of rose in that. This time I'm going to paint the whole concentric circle. Okay, the first one is dried. Go into it with a deeper color. And if anyone is new, Aru, check. Just make the figure of a 6 and then use the free end. Free end to just go round and round and round with the brush. Yeah, we're making fridge magnets today. This is just an extra fridge magnet. We just finished pasting a whole bunch, but I can paste one more towards the end if there are new people joining in. Is it working? Okay, so the rose is done. Now the peony. It's usually got 2 petals there. I've made one and I'm going to make an overlapping second petal. And I'm also going to make these, I don't know what these lines are called. And the last one, we can make a rose in a different way. They don't all have to be the same. Where you start off with maybe something like that. And then you just make these C shapes in a rotating fashion. Just keep rotating your paper and keep making these C shapes. Or they're inverted C shapes or whatever. Something like that. Okay. Let me finish off the peony with one dark color because this will definitely look odd. Needs a second color petal in the back. Perhaps maybe a few more dark lines. All right. I think that little backdrop of green might look good for this fellow because it will just get lost otherwise. And now we're ready to cut. I'm cutting the outside circle. You can of course just cut the smaller circle which makes the center and paste that, but sometimes the finish might be a little questionable, so I prefer that my pasting is done in such a way that it goes over the sides. Let's keep this over here. And now if you see the line, thank you. I'm just going to make a few slashes. So anybody who's studied garment design will know how you make these little cuts when you have to fit a sleeve in or circular space. It used to be a nightmare when I was studying in college. Of course, when you got the sleeve to fit perfectly or a circular seam to fit perfectly, it was, heaven. But trying to cut that and not go over the stitching line was very scary. We have lost sleep over that, and projects and marks. So I'm making a few V's right up to the first line that I had drawn, and then in between that I'm giving one more cut because I want this to fit as snugly as possible without creating too many bumps. This is one of those cute projects you want to do just because it's so cute. I don't know if I would want to make this commercially because it's such a headache. Alright, now I have to look for my fridge magnet. Oh, lost it. Oh no, found it. Okay, this is where we are at. Again, check which side. With the circular magnets, it usually works both ways. I don't know how, because now my belief is that a circular magnet is actually a cylinder which is magnetized and then it is sliced to a certain thickness, whereas the sheet magnet is something else altogether. It does not. I don't think it's manufactured in that manner. So only one side is magnetized. So this won't matter how you paste it, and because we have to do this really complicated pasting on the side, we ought to put glue on the base. But now I already have a rose, so I'm going to paste this peony. It's really looking too cute, so please bear with me. When compared the two, I like this one better. Yeah, the sheet magnets are available at a place called Hindustan Magnets. This is at Wakdewadi on the old Bombay Pune highway. There's that bridge or the underpass near Wakdewadi after where the bus depot is. And when you go from the underpass, you have to walk there because you can't take two-wheeler, or you could take a two-wheeler actually, and you go from the Shivaji Nagar side towards under the underpass and take a left to go towards Khadki, and immediately on the left hand side you will see Hindustan Magnets. They're fantastic. They've got a huge range of magnets. I think they are industrial suppliers of magnets. So they've got high strength magnets. It's just fantastic. So check that out. It's always fun to go to that shop because it's very unusual. It's like one of those magical places where they pull out the magnets for display and your car keys get stuck to the display. Okay, so I am now going to fold over. So we have to this has to sit very firm. So I'm going to glue the center down, and I'm going to also spread this glue out to the sides. Oops. And start pasting from any one side. So I'm going to paste one side in. Make sure there's enough glue, of course. Times like that, it helps to have a tool like this. This is my porcupine quill. And push in one segment at a time, let it overlap. And you have to be very patient. You have to hold it down and let it rest in that position and let it dry, then move on. You don't need too much glue. And Fevicol, the best part is it dries transparent. So even if it comes out in some places on the right side of your artwork, it goes on to dry transparent. Okay, let's let this roll on the side a little bit. Press it down properly. And let's see. Reveal. There. It looks like the cutest thing. Oops. They like each other. I'm gonna have to hold them separate. This is so cute, isn't it? So there we are. These are all the magnets, and like I promised, I will paste one more magnet for those who joined in late. We have made this artwork last week. I'll just place all my beauties in the frame. Okay, so one more time, pasting. Check which side is magnetized. This side is the place which I'm going to stick, so the shiny side will be outside. I'm going to fold from two opposite sides first, and then from the other two adjacent opposite sides. Okay, now I have a cross mark where I'm going to cut a very wide V, the tip of which is going to be a few millimeters away from the edge of the magnet. And I'm just going to check that when I cut it that far away, does it overlap fine without any part of the magnet seen, and I get a nice crisp corner on top. I can cut it a little closer. And you can check with each corner so that you can keep improving every time you go to the next one. So, sorry, out of frame. Remember, it's a wide V, it is not a straight line through and through. Okay, and now my glue has disappeared. Okay, here we go. Glue, 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 glue. And just so that it looks nicely finished from the back as well, paste the opposite sides first and then paste the adjacent opposites. Okay, hold it tight and then just put it on some surface and let the magnetic power do its job. That's it. Hope you all had fun. I'm so sorry about this morning again. This was a very nice, tightly planned session, but maybe we can't complain. So I look forward to seeing all of your artworks. Please share if you need any feedback. I'm happy to help. And again, for those of you who thought I'm not going to use the gold pen today, I am. There's never an occasion where a gold pen can't be used. So there you go. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Please pray that my internet services are restored and tomorrow we won't have these glitches. I think I might be able to save at least this session and I will post it. I'll try to post it on YouTube and I shall let you know. Thank you again, everybody, for joining, and have a nice rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.